It's that time. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. It's Monday. Get out of my box, cat. Oh my god. Do y'all see this? Hold on. Fiona, what are you doing? We are rolling. She's like the biggest diva in the entire house. That's my cat, Fiona. She was, we adopted her because her family could no longer keep her because her first dad, was really allergic to cats. So we, after they had her for several years and were really having a hard time finding a home for her, not because people didn't want her because she's obviously gorgeous, but because, you know, that was their baby and they needed a good home. And I had just lost my cat who meant the world to me, Miss Fatness Always Dying, R.I.P. And we found Fiona because the sales guy, my good friend Donnie, the sales guy when I worked at Sooner Indian Motorcycle, told me, hey, I know somebody who's got to find a new home for their cat. You should talk to her. And I talked to her, and my good friend Kedrick picked her up from Tulsa and brought her to me, to my apartments. And we just fell absolutely in love with her. I was really scared she wasn't gonna like me because she hid under the boys' bed for like 3 days. But thankfully, we became like best friends. She's my ride or die and I love her. So yeah. But this week on Monday Coffee with the Doll, we are going to be talking about cheaters. No. Yeah, you know, it's a pretty serious topic. It's really nothing to joke about, but that's what we're talking about, and not in the ridiculous late night TV show cheaters kind of way, because I'm not walking in on anybody doing it with somebody in a cow mask. It's just not happening. So if you want to be a part of this conversation, sit tight. It's coming right at you. So welcome back to another episode of Monday Coffee with the Doll. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, this is a show where I basically just talk about random topics with you guys, and we just hang out and we have coffee together on Mondays. The least favorite day of the week that I try to make more positive with my absolutely ridiculous rhetoric on my show. But this week we're going to be talking about a topic that I'm pretty sure most people can relate to. If you can't relate to it, you're really lucky. But we are going to be talking about cheaters because it's something that I have had in my inbox lately, and I think that it's something that a lot of us really struggle with, a lot of different emotions. So I thought that I would kind of share my experience with cheaters, and I don't know how maybe we can move on from the pain of them and the problems that they cause. Do you guys have your Monday Coffee with the Doll coffee mug? It says it right here. Monday Coffee with the Doll. My good friends at Forever Above Me Clothing make them for me, and they're really awesome. It's so cool to have like something that has your show name on it, you know what I mean? But if you guys want to get one and hashtag Monday Coffee with the Doll, tag me in that photo. I would love to share your amazing face. Tell me why you like the show. Tell me if you've learned anything, or if you just watch me because I'm crazy. I accept those kind of messages as well. So so cheaters, it's a really sucky thing. Most of us can say that we've been cheated on, and it's not easy for anybody. It's not easy for anybody. I've been cheated on. This is probably crazy for most of you to think, but I've only been with one other guy other than my boyfriend now, and I was with him. He was my first boyfriend. I was with him from I was just about to turn 17 when I met him, and I guess we officially got together when I was 17 until I was 23. That's when our relationship finally came to a close. And there's a lot of things I could talk about that my relationship was and what I went through and how I survived, basically, but we're only focusing on the cheating aspect. So I'm gonna cut out like at least 50% of my relationship, because the other 50% was definitely being cheated on by him, for sure. He cheated on me constantly, and I was really naive. I was really young. I had never had a boyfriend before. I grew up in a really sheltered family. I grew up with my grandma, who was very anti-boys, and anti-worldly anything. You know, she's a really focused individual. She's a very black and white personality. You know, there's right, there's wrong, there's no in between. But I love her absolutely to death. She is probably one of the biggest inspirations that fed into my life that made me who I am. So I wouldn't be who I am without her. But I didn't, you know, boy stuff wasn't something I went through because I was homeschooled my entire life, and then I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16. And then I met my ex, and we were together for a pretty long time. And one of the main problems in our relationship was that he cheated a lot. And I was that girl that everybody knew her boyfriend was cheating on her, but she was just so sweet and so innocent, and nobody wanted to break it to her. That was me. And I don't think anybody really did it on purpose. Like, I don't think it was, well, you just didn't have good friends. No, we were just all young punk kids that, you know, nobody wants to really get involved in that kind of stuff a lot of times when you know you don't want to be the person that causes conflict in a relationship. But honestly, I wish somebody would have just bluntly told me, hey, this is what's going on. But nobody did. You know, a lot of people just hid it from me, and I don't fault them for it. I'm not mad at anybody for it. I'm actually friends with a lot of guys now that knew my ex, who knew he was cheating on me, and you know, they were all pretty upset about it and didn't think that it was the right thing for him to be doing to me. But you know, they always came to me afterwards and said, I'm glad that you moved on from that. You deserve better. Your kids deserve better. That's always good when people are like, I'm behind you. It was wrong. You did the right thing. But it's really hard when people cheat on you, because once you take that step, it's like it removes this piece of your relationship that you can't get back. Like, it changes the dynamics so big. It's like this huge shift in your relationship. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that, you know, it's a deal breaker for most people, and it's 100% a deal breaker for me. But I started thinking about it the other day. Is it a deal breaker? I'm going to tell you why I think maybe it wouldn't be. And that sounds crazy, I know, but that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so a lot of you would probably be like, oh my gosh, Emily, what do you mean? Like, you would be okay with your boyfriend cheating on you now? And my answer would be, oh, I wouldn't be. I definitely wouldn't be okay with my boyfriend cheating on me now. I would be completely distraught and devastated, and it would bring up a million other pains from my past. And, you know, it would be a really difficult, heartbreaking, just absolutely heartbreaking situation. And luckily for me, I don't worry about that at all. Like, I wouldn't be with my boyfriend if I thought he was the type that was going to just put me through that again. I wouldn't even waste my time. And a lot of people, kitty, can you not climb my back? A lot of people, would laugh at me when me and my boyfriend now first started dating, because we were in a long distance relationship for the first 2, almost 3 years of our relationship. And we were 8 hours away. He lived in Texas and I lived in Oklahoma. And a lot of people would say that to me. You know, he's probably cheating on you. Long distance relationships never work because somebody always ends up cheating. And I remember just thinking to myself, well, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that just because somebody's in a different state and they can't see each other every single day, or they can't have that physical intimacy, which I think is a huge, huge factor in a relationship. Intimacy, sexual intimacy is a huge part of a relationship. And without that, your relationship can really struggle. But that doesn't have anything to do with being in a different place. And I remember laughing because I thought to myself, well, I was married to a man and lived in the same house with him, and all he ever did was cheat on me. So how does, like, being in the same, I'm pretty sure it has to do with the person, not the space. And I definitely think that space can cause issues, emotional issues, because you are lacking just in that basic, you know, connection, that being able to hug somebody or being able to watch TV with somebody. Can you stop eating all the stuff in my box? Look at this guilty face. She has a cardboard fetish. Don't judge her. please stop eating my, I'm gonna show you guys something in a little bit, and she's going through it. Excuse me, Miss Thing. Anyways, I definitely think that being apart from somebody can cause some stress and some strain, but it definitely depends on you and your partner and what you guys want and what you guys are focusing on and how strong your communication is, really, because without communication, no relationship is gonna do well. Communication barriers are really big struggles in relationships, just like money can be a really big struggle in a relationship. But I wouldn't be with somebody if I thought that he was, you know, cheating on me just because we can be in the same spot 24/7. Like, why would you waste your time with somebody who you constantly had to worry about that with? Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to always be on my guard. And after being in a relationship where somebody was so just dominantly cheating all the time, you know, it was scary at first. It was scary at first, and I definitely had moments where I questioned and I was like, oh my gosh, but that was from me. That was from my trauma and the situation I went through and my own made up, you know, things in my head. I was sabotaging my relationship basically with things that weren't even happening. And thankfully, I have a boyfriend who didn't hesitate to talk to me about it or, you know, do what he had to do to make me feel more comfortable. And he trusted me the same way, which for me, I was like, well, trust me, I'm not a cheater. Like, I would never do that to you. And I know that. I know who I am and what I would be capable of or not capable of, or what I would do or wouldn't do. But for somebody else, especially in a new relationship and long distance, you know, they don't know that. All they can do is hope and take you for your word and trust that you wouldn't do that to them. And it was huge for me because in my past relationship, I was constantly accused of being a cheater. And I remember when I first got Facebook, the biggest thing was that I was accused of constantly, you know, talking to guys online to cheat. And I had just started my modeling page. That's why I got Facebook, to start my pinup page. And I was interacting with a lot of different men daily because it's a part of what I was doing, is talking and interacting with people who supported my work. And I couldn't talk to anybody without being accused of wanting to cheat or being inappropriate or, you know, just garbage. So for somebody to be so receiving and trusting of me in that area it was really helpful. It made me more confident in them too. And especially because at the time I had a male friend that was also going through a divorce at the same time I was, and we hung out a lot because we kind of connected on a lot of different levels, as far as supporting one another and being friends. And we hung out after I would get off work when I was working at Hot Topic. We would go out drinking together. We hung out, we were friends. And my boyfriend didn't once question me. He didn't once act jealous or weird or make me, if I ever went out with anybody, male or female, never male, that just wouldn't happen. But I remember with my ex, even if I would go and hang out with girlfriends, it was always texting me nonstop, accusing me of things nonstop, making sure my night was ruined. You know, you're hanging out with guys, aren't you? You're cheating on me, aren't you? Okay, we're done. Your stuff's gonna be out. Just like that constant, like, who wants to, that's not a relationship. It's just constant bombarding stress of somebody projecting onto you. And now I realize it was just a huge manipulation tactic just from day one until I got out of it. It was just a constant doing what he needed to do to manipulate me and control me. And I was young and stupid, and I, you know, made a lot of mistakes and allowed a lot of things to be done to me. I ignored a lot that now I know was just a total waste. But I'm also thankful because I learned so much through that situation, and I really don't think I would be as strong as I am now. It's like I had to go through the shadow of death to get to the other side and know my worth and know what I deserved and knew what I was capable of. And being cheated on is one of those things that can really cause you to be fearful when you're going into your next relationship, because like I said, once you make that choice, it's one of those things that you can't take back. It's a scar on your relationship that even after it's healed, you can still see it. And there is no Mederma for emotional scars. It's a big game changer in your relationship. And I think that there's two types of cheaters, and I think that there's two types of people who get cheated on. And this is just my opinion from what I've seen. I think that there's cheaters who cheat and they plan on cheating. They know that they're gonna cheat. They don't feel bad for cheating. It can take them a long time to actually go through with it when they're with somebody, but ultimately they're just that type. They're gonna go out and do it. And then after they do it, you know, and they tell you about it, and you love that person and you want to be with them, so you're like, okay, let's try to work through it. I forgive you, let's just move forward. And then the cheater takes that opportunity to be like, oh, okay, I can get away with this. And then not long after, they're right back to it because they don't really feel bad. You're just part of their game, 100%. You're being used for something that they need, whatever it is. You're that comfort zone, you're that constant for them, and they're still out doing whatever they want to do behind your back, but you're that person that if they need you, they know you're there. You know, it's just that constant using. And I think that there's people who cheat who just have human moments. I think that people sometimes get in situations or they're struggling in the relationship that they're in and they're hurt and stressed out and confused, and I think sometimes people have really carnal moments, and things happen really fast. And I think 100% that there's people out there who have cheated who 100% regret what they did, and they would take it back, and they couldn't even grasp how they went through with it because it's not who they are. I do think that there are those types of cheaters. It's not something I understand. I can't wrap my head around cheating. I can't. No matter what my ex did to me, no matter how horrible, how abusive, you know, just how wrong he was to me, never once did my thought go, oh, I need to go out there and find somebody else that can give me what I need. I thought, oh my gosh, I think, you know, this isn't who I'm supposed to be with, or this isn't how my life is supposed to be. But I always thought I need to move on. Never, I just need to go out and sleep with somebody else, or I need to go out and get emotional, you know, connection with somebody else. Like my brain just doesn't go there. If we're not supposed to be together and we have to end it, I'm just gonna tell you, hey. Or if I did find somebody else, I'd be like, hey, you know, it's scary and it would suck really bad, but you should at least have the respect and the decency to give that person the chance to go out and find what they deserve. You know, nobody deserves to be cheated on, and it's a really horrible, horrible thing to put somebody through. And I think that there's two different types of people who get cheated on. I think there's the type of people who will say that they, you know, forgive you and that they want to move on and they want to try, but then later they just always use it as a tool to bring back up. They never really forgive and get over it. They just say it. And you know, some of them probably think, well, maybe if I just say it, it'll change and that'll help me. And then other people just know that they're never going to get over it, but they're still going to be at it. And if that type of person who gets cheated on is with the type who really did regret it and really did want to be forgiven and do better and never do that again to the person they love, if they're with the type of person who constantly brings it up, that's going to be really, really hard. You guys are never going to heal from it. But then I think there's also the type of people who truly forgive their significant other when something like that happens. We are gathered today with each other. I think that there are people who, you know, forgive and move on. That was me. I 100%, when I really found out that my ex was legitimately cheating on me and I had proof, it was somebody that was very dear to my heart and somebody I love very much. And so she was honest with me, and he wouldn't have been. He would have continued to lie, but she was honest with me. And she knew it was going to sacrifice our relationship, but she was honest with me because she respected me. You know, she respected me. She knew what she was doing was wrong. And instead of trying to make excuses or lie or hide it for him, she respected me and she told me the truth. And she knew that that was gonna hurt us both, and she knew that we weren't going to be, you know, have the same type of relationship as friends that we did. But she was willing to sacrifice that to tell me the truth so my life could change, because she knew the type of guy he was too. And I forgave him, and we made it another 2 years after that. And he was the type of cheater who just uses it as, oh great, now I know how far I can push her until I have to reel it back in. And there was a little bit of you know, oh hey, you know, we're gonna work hard and I'm gonna do all the things that, you know, I know you want and that are gonna, you know, get me safe. And he did that, and then it wasn't long after we were separated, I think for 6 months, and I had my first son, Benjamin, and I had just gone through a miscarriage when I found out he was having an affair. So I had a lot of different emotions, and I wanted to do what I thought was right and keep my family together. You know, I just couldn't bear my baby going through that. So I made a conscious decision to work on my marriage and try to keep moving forward. But ultimately, I was the only one trying, and he went right back to doing the same type of stuff that he always did. And it got to the point where I realized that there was nothing else I could do. I had tried, I had forgiven, I had tried to change everything about myself he said he had a problem with. I was a very devoted wife and mother, and I loved my family and I wanted it to work, but unfortunately that wasn't in the cards. Woo! We're getting in the feels. You try to make a choice that's best for your family when you have kids, and it's not just you when you have all these thoughts and all these emotions, and you try to do what's best, but sometimes the best thing is leaving. Sometimes, depending on, you know, who you are and what you're going through, you know what's best. And I think it's really important for us, I'll say this in closing, I think that it's really important for us to remember that, you know, our relationships are in our hands, and we allow people to treat us how we allow them. And unfortunately, there's going to be people out there that take advantage of that. And it's okay to keep trying. You know, it's okay to want to keep trying, even if you know that what he's doing is wrong and he's lying, or she's lying, or she's cheating on you. This goes men and women both. There's nobody, it's not a gender thing, it's a people thing. You know, I think that if you want to keep working on it, you give it all that you got. And if it doesn't work out, you need to also focus on when it's time to leave. You know, you should never stay in something because you think it's best for your kids, because that's not what's best for your kids. You know, you should never stay in something because you're worried about what other people may think or what other people may say about you. You need to do what's best for you, and you need to do what's best for your kids if there's kids involved. And that's making sure that their environment is as healthy and stable as it can be. And sometimes that's with, you know, 2 different moms and 2 different dads and 2 different families. And if those families are able to work together, that's just double the love for those kids. And unfortunately, that doesn't work for everybody. I mean, it wasn't the case for you know, us. No matter how hard you try to co-parent, there's just some people who don't know how to co-parent. But, you know, you walking away is okay. And it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be devastated and heartbroken, and it's okay to stay in that pain for a while. I think a lot of people, like, when you're trying to support somebody who's been cheated on and finally make that break from that person, a lot of people are like, well, you know, you can do better, you don't deserve that, or you need to just go out and find somebody new. No, you need to do what's best for you. You need to take a moment, you need to take time. And you're mourning loss of a love, you know what I mean? And I think everybody deserves to handle that however they want to handle it, and just be there for them. If they say, hey, I want to go out, be there to take them out. If, you know, they say, I just want to be left alone, okay, I'll leave you alone. Check on them every 5 hours, you know? But cheating is a really horrible thing, and it's a hard thing to come back from. And it's a choice that once you make, it removes a really special connection in your relationship, and you have to work really hard to get that back. And if somebody's not willing to work hard to get that back, or somebody pretends that they're willing to do that and then, you know, they just keep doing it, you need to know that that's not how relationships work. And there are people out there that can be faithful, and there are people out there that you can trust 100%, and you deserve the opportunity to go out and find that. And you shouldn't allow somebody else who's just basically using you for whatever thing that they're gaining from you while they're still, you know, sleeping with other people or having different relationships or constantly lying to you, constantly hurting you. That's not okay. And sometimes we really have to put our foot down and be like, I know this is gonna hurt and I know it's gonna suck really, really bad, but I deserve better and I'm gonna make that jump, and you need to make that jump, because I'm here to tell you there is so much happiness on the other side. Like, it is out there for you. The romantic, your soulmate is out there. Who you're supposed to be with is out there. Who you know, can relate to, and who you can get along with, and who can be your best friend, and who is the, you know, yin to your yang, the peanut butter to your jelly. They are out there. But if we continue to waste our time on people who we're just trying to make work, that's not worth anybody's time. That's not a way that you live life. That's not happiness at all. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So in closing, I'm just going to talk about our sponsors a little bit. And basically, I say sponsor because there are people who support my work and feed into what I do, and I love them for it. So have you guys noticed this ring? Look at it. It's a little wrench. It's a little crescent wrench. I'm going to put the information from where you can find this key. Hello. So in closing, I'm gonna talk about our sponsors real quick. Of course, Forever Above Me. They're an amazing brand, an amazing group of people to follow. They teach you how to embrace yourself and all of the things that influence who you choose to be in life, and I absolutely love them. So you guys will have to check them out. But I also want to give a shout out to the Pinned Up doll. This is so cute. This was in the front of the box when I opened it. It says, "Be warned, this is a box full of pretty things," and pretty things it was. I opened it and it's an absolutely amazing box full of goodies. She handmade me so many beautiful hair flowers that, you guys, these have real vintage faux fruit pieces on them that she pulled off of and recovered from some other things. So it's got real vintage flair on it, and your pieces are all one of a kind. But she also makes a lot of these really cute little lucite glitter jewelry. I love this mermaid tail. And another one of my favorite pieces she made me was this little girl Pac-Man with the bow, and it's super glittery. So, oh, and I have to show you guys these because these are super rad. These sunglasses, check that out. Super cute, super cute. But she goes by the Pinned Up doll. You can find her on Instagram and Facebook. I'll put her link in the description below so you guys can find it. But I was super excited to get that goodie box, and I absolutely love it. There's so much fun stuff in there. She has a lot of cool stuff on her store, so check that out. Also, our Monday coffee kisser was brought to you by Atomic Makeup. I absolutely love this brand. I came across it on Instagram. I'm wearing shade Together Forever. Number 2, together, number 4 ever. And this is their Glimmer Pop matte liquid lip. You guys, I don't know if you can, you see the glitter? You see that glitter? So I absolutely love this because not only is it a matte liquid lipstick, but it has flecks of glitter in it. You can't really 100% see in the video or pictures, unfortunately. I don't know why, but in real life it's absolutely amazing. They're comfortable, they stay on forever, they're cruelty free. They have lip glosses, they have some really cool like cream highlighters and eye glimmers. It's a really cool brand. It's Atomic Makeup NYC is what they have on their tube, but I just know it as Atomic Makeup. You can find them on Instagram. That's where I found them. I'll put a link below as well. other than that, I guess I'll close up the show yet again. Emily, you talked way too long. I'm trying to get better at these, you guys. I just get in this role, and I'm sorry, it's not really a quick show anymore. It's like sitting down and watching a freaking docu-series. But thank you for putting up with it. Thank you for following me. Remember to turn on your little notifications so you don't miss any new videos. I'm gonna be trying to do more and more now that we're kind of in a good groove with back to school. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share if you think that this could help anybody else. Also, all of the shares are always really helpful with growing what I do and helping with my reach. So I love your faces. And like always, remember that these are the days that fill your week. Make them amazing and find somebody who loves and appreciates you and will help you make your life that much better, okay? Because you deserve it. Cheers. Bye.